What's going on, Ultra Buddies? Big news over San Diego Comic Con weekend. Booster Set 5 was revealed while we were getting ready for the Galaxy Cup. But Heroes of the Radiant Dawn, Booster Pack 5 on sale, 2025, 10/31, October 31st. Big deal. A lot to talk about from this. And so there's some art stuff that we'll talk about. Then there's big news. New rarity revealed, and then we'll do some little hypothetical fun discussion. So the first thing I think that you mentioned, Gankun, was this set is a little different than the past with this reveal because we have our own box art. We have English box art, and it's the same as the Japanese box art. So, whoa, real big. So this is like hypothetical English box art.
Actually, this should be Japanese. The packs in this one are Japanese.
So these are the Japanese packs, and it's the same art. So in the past, for BPO2 through BPO3, BB2, 3, 4, we've had different box art and also English artists. So there's some speculation that this would be potentially the end of the English exclusive arts. We'll have to see. That's a little bit of speculation, but there's some precedent there because we don't have our own English box art.
One thing on that, if the box art is the same, it'll be just like BP1. Anyone buying boxes off of Amazon or eBay, double check
which language you're getting.
Because in BP1, the boxes were slightly larger. So if you had a very keen eye, you could actually see the difference. But between stock photos being used for both or like just not getting a good angle, you could very easily end up buying like the Japanese version of BP1 when you meant to buy English. So keep an eye out for that.
That's a good point, something to be cautious of. And the second thing we'll go into, I think, you can talk a bit more about this one. A box topper, special box topper.
Yeah, so we have Tatsu Ikinobu, author of like popular Dandadan series. So Dandadan, anyone who's not familiar with the series, good manga and anime on Shonen Jump. And the show is actually full of references to Ultraman, whether it's Viola's like kaiju suit, very, very clearly like reference to Gomora. Teachers are wearing the SSP outfits. The opening has like a lot of the same silhouettes you see on like the Ultraman opening. A lot of the kaijus, kind of like in this example, see how they look like the famous kaiju we have. So it's I think it's a really fitting choice. Popular artist or popular series, a lot of reference to Ultraman. I'm wondering if this is kind of something new they're trying. So whereas maybe sets 2, 3, 4, we had the Marvel artists, maybe they're actually now trying to get famous manga artists to then draw cards for the different sets. Maybe we'll see APs or double R's drawn by different artists here. Maybe it's only for the box hoppers. Looking forward to see more announcements on the art as they reveal the BP4 or the BP5 cards.
Yeah, and this will be really fun and exciting. Like our dynamic is that you know way more about Ultraman than I do, and I read Dandadan and caught up much before I started playing the card game, I think. So a lot of these things like went over my head, and then like with the teachers, their orange suits, that's like in black and white for me. So I never would have, not that I knew what the SSSP, outfits looked like, but it was also black and white. So there's no way for me to know. And then that kind of like the similarities between the openings. And then we mentioned Vamola's suit. You can find it really quick. Like now that I know who Gamora is, like that, come on.
Yeah.
That's is pretty much on the money, right? So yeah, that's really exciting that we have that special box topper from the artist, the mangaka of Dandadan. And hopefully it'll be really cool to see some more collaborations for the manga art, but I'm not holding out hope for that. Yeah. So then the big news that I've been, hinted at, we have a new rarity, the quad rare. The rare. Rare. Yeah. Quad rare. These are insane cards with Ultra Heroes Glitter Tiga and Shining Ultraman Zero, amongst potentially more. And they are the game's first level 4 characters. So that'll be a new mechanics, new depth and strategy that we're being promised. And that's exciting. That's a big news to go from a level 4's completely new cards. Any initial thoughts about that? Like,
yeah, I think we've been talking about for a while when they would introduce like the final forms, you could call it, of different heroes, and how they might introduce it. So level 4 was one way. I think we were speculating there might be other ways they actually do this.
Yeah.
But even if it's level 4, I think everything going forward will end up being speculation. There's a lot of ways you could introduce a level 4 card. Like I like to use Vanguard as the only other card game I have as a reference point, but grade 4 was not something in your. It was a big deal when it was announced. From what I remember, because I only played some of the older formats. It was
before we get too speculative, though, let's talk about the one thing that is more ground in truth is the schedule for events, right? At least for, I mean, this is the Singapore one. I don't remember if we have the English one. I don't think is very different. But some of this stuff with timeline has changed a little bit. Like, I think with BPO4 was not quite there. But anyway, the road to WGP, this is a big goal on both our lists. The things to qualify for is to qualify for the World Grand Prix, the World Championships for Ultraman. So we've been, trying to figure out what decks we're going to play, especially with BP4. It seems like most of the stuff with the preliminaries might be in BPO4. This current set's a big set for us, but with BPO5 kind of sneaking at the end here, there's a good chance that a couple qualifiers, or one or two, would be in that BPO5 format. And then who knows if we get sets before the World Finals as well, which I believe would be in May. So from a standpoint of introducing incredibly crazy new game mechanics right before like some of the preliminaries, just be careful, be prepared for that as we go into these kind of like qualifiers, and we hopefully get some news soon, because I'm a little miffed about that. That's maybe not something we really need to go into this video, but in May we'll have the World Championships, and we still don't know when go all the way down. Okay, I'm scrolling too much. We still don't know when our English qualifiers will be, our USA qualifiers will be, which is kind of annoying for me.
Yes, I think I wish I had I remember the Japanese events. They're going to also do different qualifiers. There will also be, I think, 1 or 2 spots for the winner of the Japan Open or Japan Championship next year, which would be before the Worlds. And so some of these events, I mean, I think if you scroll just up above, it says they'll be held between, actually down, the bottom of that paragraph here.
Yeah,
right
September
above.
to December.
Yes. I think so. The league points are looking at things going through December 2025. If you look here, there's going to be some events scheduled in December. So there will be kind of 2 types of qualifiers. You'll have your qualifiers. Oh, perfect here. They have like some of the terms scheduled. Some of these will be
the Philippines is going to be before BP5.
Oh, and Vietnam. I think that's September. Right?
In Vietnam.
Yeah. So these will be BP4 based. The other ones will be BP5 based. Now, I can actually see Singapore being BP4 only. It's only a week into the set.
Ooh, that's true.
And usually, like for example, the US Open is the weekend of, and they do a hard stop on BP4. I feel like, in my experience, other card games like to not rock the boat right before a big event, but there's still no I think final announcement on like what is actually legal for that Singapore event. And then Australia will have had a month, and I don't see why they wouldn't let you use BP5 for the event.
Yeah, Yeah, that's true. So actually, at least the things we've seen so far, I was wrong, will be BPO4, mostly, at least 50-50. And then, of course, we don't know anything about the North American region ones, which hopefully we get soon, because if they're anything like October 19th, that's very soon.
Yes.
And yeah, so fingers crossed for that. So let's go into speculation territory then with our grade 4s, level 4s. You were talking about Vanguard. Let's
Oh yeah.
continue that
So
thought about level 4s in Vanguard.
this is the border design, and I think it's really nice. Like these look pretty cool for a final form. But this doesn't tell us really anything about how the mechanic works, and I think that's
Mhm.
fine. Like I wouldn't personally read too much into the bottom of the card. Like their numbers
Oh,
are left
yeah.
empty on purpose. That's the same shape and design as our current cards. Like that last slot is today only used for EX. Maybe we put in a fourth grade in there. I don't know how I feel about requiring a card to be a quadruple of like a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mhm.
It might be hard enough to build triples in some decks, and then
Yeah.
we'll have to see. But with that Vanguard thought is, I'm curious if this card would fit in your main deck, or will be part of a side deck like
Mm.
Vanguard was, where you could. I forgot the mechanics. I think you like discarded a grade 3, and then you could like ride it. But I think that would also influence like consistency. Like if I had to now make space for 4 copies of a grade 4 card,
Mhm.
then okay, well, let's use like a maybe Sikari deck as an example. Okay, now, or maybe Tika Blaze or whatever, you have to take out maybe a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3, and maybe another level 2 or something to make
Mhm.
spots for 4 cards. You could already be bricked if you drew a hand of just level 3s or maybe 1s
Yeah.
and 3s. Now imagine you have 1, 3, 4s, and
Yeah.
4s have to be played as a triple, quadruple to be useful.
Mhm.
I would hope that this doesn't go into the main deck. It depends on like how the powers work. Like if this could be
Yeah.
played as a 3/4 double, then maybe that's fine. If these are expecting people to have quadruples, it's a very
Yeah.
hard deck to play.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that mechanic in Vanguard. But then again, I didn't play Vanguard as much as you, so I'm curious to your thoughts on like a main deck versus extra deck.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I wanted like it's like Google Draw. Like I feel like that's like the easiest thing to do. Okay, so the way I see it is, because there's a lot of things that we could go on, right? Like,
Mhm.
so for Vanguard specifically, I think you mentioned that you're familiar with the extra deck. So Vanguard zones as a card fight. I type up Vanguard, and then you get the bank, and all the time. So let me find a good one. This is probably fine. So let's see. So in Vanguard, ignore basically everything. There is, yeah, you ride cards for sure. So over in this zone here, this is called the G zone. And in this zone, you're able to take level 4 cards and play them. Well, in this case, it's something else because it's changed too much. But there's an extra deck basically where you can take level 4 cards out of your special extra deck and put them on top of your current, Vanguard, aka stack, to make your level 3s into level 4s temporarily for the turn. So that's like kind of our initial idea for. That's one initial idea, like temporary level 4. That's one idea we could have for Vanguard, coming from the Vanguard idea. Oh, it's not all of them. Okay. Sorry, not as prepared as I should have been for this. Let's put it down a little bit. Okay, so the other idea is like change that. So temporary level 4s in the extra deck. The other idea is a defensive type of mechanic. So in Vanguard, they also use level 4s as an extra way to defend. So in that case, you can have guarding. So your level 4 comes out of the field, comes out of the extra deck, and helps you defend. So we could have kind of like a savior mechanic, if you will. Something that maybe in the judgment phase you're about to lose, and the level 4 comes out of your hand and saves the game, so you don't lose that turn. It could get a little tricky because if it affects the powers of things, then you might end up in a case where you're losing, but then it automatically makes you win, and then does your opponent get a chance to respond to that? It's kind of weird. So I'm not sure that this will be the way they end up happening. An alternative to this is like Yu-Gi-Oh! With hand traps. So something like in your hand that comes out of nowhere to surprise your opponent, but you have a level 3 ready for it that you have to have on the board. Like maybe you need a level 3 Tiga triple before you can have this ability online. So that's like one idea. Also coming from this, these are both like extra deck ideas. And then you mentioned it might be a little awkward for the main deck. Main deck. The original level 4 in Cardfighter Vanguard is actually a main deck card.
Oh,
and the very first one they announced is it's level 4, and it was very interesting because you really had to change up how you were building your deck up until then, because all of a sudden, instead of making your deck top out at a level 3, you're topping out, or they call grades in Vanguard, topping out a grade 3. Like, I got my grade 3, I'm good to go. You had to get that extra step, that extra turn that it took you to get to the level 4, get to grade 4. So some of the things that came out that made those things special, or made that deck a little bit more viable or easier to use, were search effects.
Yep.
Which I don't think we'll see. We already kind of have some search effects in the game, but these had specific search effects for the new level 4.
I guess to call out, Ultraman hasn't had any search effects that would require you to like physically look through your deck, find a card, and then reshuffle.
Yeah.
Our search effects are like you may like reveal the top few cards of a deck, and it would be very interesting to see them move away from how they currently have it set up.
Yeah. So I hope they don't, because at least from a top deck type perspective, because I think it really streamlines the game when you don't have to pick up your deck and look through it and then shuffle it afterwards. It makes the gameplay faster. Like, that's what they want, right? It would be like counterproductive to make an actual search effect. So I do think like I would not want this one. So I don't know how to do a strike through, but that's okay. And then the last concept is what in Vanguard was referred to by the fans as a superior ride, which means that you would be able to main phase level up one of your cards so that you could get to the level 4 faster. I think this is like built into Ultraman, because if you really wanted that level 4 in the first lane, you could go a 1-2, and then turn 2 you're a 3, and then turn 3, where the first chance you have to win the game is, you can already get to the level 4. So you're trading off using a draw level 1 for going straight into your level 4 on the turn that like maybe matters the most, which would be very interesting because it would change the dynamic of that first lane a lot more. I think right now a lot of the emphasis in the game is on the second lane, at least from my opinion.
Yeah.
But that means a lot of emphasis becomes at the first lane. So my guess is we'll see this main deck level 4s, but we won't see either of these. I can figure out how to streak through. It's okay. I don't think we'll see these kind of like extra search effects or superior rides. I think we're just going to have to figure out how to build our decks with level 4s in mind. What are your thoughts on? Do you want to talk a bit more about like the implications of having a level 4 in the main deck, or should we maybe throw out some ideas of what effects they might have? like in terms of balancing or something like that.
I think we could wrap up on like the implications of deck building and then go into like the types of effects. So I'm very hesitant on the main deck approach just because because Ultraman doesn't have the same type of searching effects you might see in Vanguard or Yu-Gi-Oh, where like in Vanguard there's level 1s or grade 1s, I guess, that would let you find the grade 2 that's part of your ride chain, I guess. I think that's what it was called. And then Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, has all the combo cards to search for all the cards you need. And since Ultraman doesn't have that, I feel like it's very easy to get stuck in a sense with like you have 1s and 3s you can't use. It's different type of like evolution mechanic than I think you see in like One Piece or like the Gundam card game from where you can kind of play any unit. You don't have to like, I mean, there's of course combos you want, but you don't have to like look for a specific evolution. Even Pokemon has things like the Pokeball cards that help you find like, okay, I have the Charmander, I want a Charizard for my effect, I can play the Ultra Ball card, get the Charizard I need, and then write it. So I'm very worried about inconsistency, because it would suck that if you just like drew, okay, I got like level 4 Tigas and then I have my level 1s and 3 Blazars in an opening hand, and you're just, it might be better to just not play them if you're going to be more consistent.
Right. I think my worry, so I probably shouldn't have deleted some of those things, but to go back to those ideas of the extra deck, those kind of extra deck type things weren't introduced to Vanguard until like maybe 5 or 6 years into the game. And what they did was, to do that, they introduced new steps within the rules to allow for those mechanics to exist. And so I worry that we're 5 sets into the game, we need to add a new zone, which makes things more complicated for our newer players. We also need to add new rules to the like way a turn progresses to allow for this. Like maybe the level 4s are, the equivalent might be something like they can only play them in the scene, like they're almost like scene cards, where like you have to have lead to be able to play them, or maybe you have to be next to play them. It's kind of like a big alternative to scenes, but like you have to be a next player before you can play your big boss. Or like if it's in the scene step, then it's like, okay, maybe there's an extra step where it's like, well, before you play your scene, you actually have to play level 4, and then you can play your scene, and then you can do the normal thing. It's like, and it adds a lot of potential rules complications to a game that I think the intent is to be very easy to understand and have quick matches. And so that's why I also lean more towards this main deck thing. But you're right, it adds a lot more inconsistency to your like decks. And one thing that I'm particularly worried about is, in general, like this game is a lot about power versus consistency. There are decks that maybe aren't, I lost my extra light. There are decks that maybe aren't quite as strong as others, but they are a little bit more consistent in being able to get their strategy off. And there's decks that just like are really, really strong, but they really need to get one card off. And like the reason Mebius was banned is because it was both. Like they removed, in my opinion, they removed the consistency part more than the power part. But they removed one consistency part and one power part from Mebius. But this is like the main thing you should be on your mind. And the issue is that like you're worried about you're worried about a bricking thing, right? It's already bad when you get 1s and 3s and no level 2s. Now you have level 4s in your decks. Well, now I got all level 4s, and it's like total, there's a total, there's no way out for me. My concern is to introduce a level 4 to the game, to have a Glitter Tiga and Shining Ultraman Zero, who first of all look gorgeous, but also like are, at least what I assume to be, almost like final forms. They got to have some cool effects. They got to do some really cool stuff to justify level 4 to justify being final forms. Like if it's a final form and it's like plus 1,000 to
Yeah.
one of your guys, you're gonna be like, what? So it kind of does these like power inconsistency things in like a really bad way, where you go like plus power, but minus consistency.
Mhm.
And what you end up here is what you end up here, what this ends up leading to, right, is decks that are like, whoever drew their level 4s is gonna win, and whoever was able to make their quadruple stack is gonna win. Like, that's not, this like ends up being not fun.
Yeah.
Because you don't have as much like control over the outcome of the game. And like I think that's like what it comes down to. It's not just that like the decks are inconsistent, that like you can have not fun from like more brick hands is not fun, but you can
Yeah.
also have this like, okay, well now the games are very swingy, and it depends all on like whether or not you get those like last cards, basically, right?
Yeah.
So it's a double doozy, and so hopefully it won't be too bad. But I think there's like some things that like they can do, some restrictions on the level 4s that would allow us to like, not feel so bad. So I mean, things like only, I don't know if you have any more thoughts on this before we move on.
I think on like the whole power consistency thing, maybe we'll touch upon this in a bit, is like power creep. Like if this set, let's go with the number that every set up until now had always 5 triple Rs.
Yeah.
So let's just say they do 5 quadruple Rs.
Yeah.
Either they're irrelevant to the game, like they don't actually change too much in terms of power consistency, and they're just kind of there to look cool, or they're just way too strong, way too consistent. And now from BP5, there's only 5 playable decks,
Yeah.
or 5 playable maybe cores, as a deck. Like Rising Ken Sato, gone. He didn't get a quadruple R. His movie didn't have a final form. Then Belial. I mean, Belial has, I think, forms that you could do level 8 card that weren't used yet. But let's say he didn't get one. All right, no one plays kaiju decks anymore because like you play Glitter Tiga and Belial's irrelevant. Or they could do one for every card, but then that also sounds kind of crazy. And there's no way they'll get every character all in one go. It might come like between sets 5 and 7. They'll do some. Yeah. So like this power consistency balance, I'm wondering how will you make not just like the existence of level 4 card balance, but make the rest of the card game still like balanced. I still want to maybe play Tiga's Goblin, so maybe I still want to play Orb, or I still want to play Jugular. How do you balance this?
Right. Yeah. So I kind of brought that up. It's like, are there only going to be Tiga and Zero? Does that mean Tiga and Zero are the only like decks that can function with this? Are we going to get we've had 4 or 5 triple rares in the past, but what about triples? Are there still going to be triple rares? Will we get any quadruple rares per box? Like, how hard are these going to be able to get? Like, are we entering like pay to win era as well? Like, these are other concerns that we have that hopefully won't be too bad. But like, that's my question, is like, if we have quadruple rares, what happens to triple rares? And then like right now we have 2 triple rares per box. Is it going to be like 1 quadruple rare per box and 1 triple rare? And then like, does that mean is Tiga going to get a triple rare and a quadruple rare? And then like, then then our issues are even we're more worried about that.
And then Kyrialoid is going to be played in every deck.
Oh yeah, Kyrialoid stocks are going up for sure. But maybe it's like, there's Tiga and Zero get quadruple rares, and then some other guys like maybe Gaia gets a triple rare. and there's still 5 triple rares. I don't know. It's a lot to like speculate on, but there are some like it's really exciting to have level 4s, and I'm really excited to see what they do. But there's also kind of like in the back of your head, it's gonna be like, I'm a little scared about what's gonna happen. But I think it'll be fun either way. But what was I thinking?
I mean, we were talking about power consistency, and then
Yeah.
talking about the number of double R, triple Rs, how we'll activate them. I guess these were the main deck issues. I think there's the extra deck side of it.
I think the extra deck side of it is mostly like how will, like if it's an extra deck, how will they come out of the extra deck?
Yeah.
Will we have to like do new steps? Will there be new steps involved in the like main rules, the comprehensive rules? Because like you mentioned, so in Vanguard with the extra deck level 4s, you have to discard a level 3 to get the level 4 out on the field temporarily. Well, if you do that during the level up step, your opponent's going to know your level 4 is coming, and it feels like a little bit different than a normal level up. So is that like a different part of the level up step? Will you like set characters, then the opponent sets, and then I level up, then you level up, then I super level up, and then you super level up?
It could be a new phase. I mean, I in the short period I played Vanguard, I did enjoy that. Okay, I discarded grade 3, and then I put my grade 4 out and all that stuff. But now I'm also wondering, like, even mechanics wise, they're going to have to change the rules. Like even the existence of a quadruple, like there's a ghoul that says like if you bounce the top card of a triple, you do stuff. Can your triple R go back to your hand?
Gets quadruple rare, then
you bounce the quadruple. It's not a triple. You don't get the buff. But can it go in your hand if it's from an extra deck? Where does it go? Can it even get bounced?
This is like one of the things where I would prefer they don't do extra decks, just because it adds all this like rules overhead basically. So then I think there are a lot of things that they can do from like a card rules perspective that will alleviate some of these issues. So some things is like, one thing we haven't even touched on is let's do like card rules. So like let's do like deck restrictions. We mentioned like, oh, are Tiga and Zero the only like real decks now? Well, what if the only real deck is Tiga paired with Zero, because it has 8 quadruple rares, and whoever plays the quadruple rare is going to win? So I think there's some things they can do here where like only one like type of quadruple rare is possible in a deck. So like if you play Glitter Tiga, you can't play Shining Ultraman Zero in your deck. You have to like commit a little bit more to one Ultraman. That's one thing they could do.
So some other games, like I know Pokemon has ace spec cards where you can only have one copy of that card in a deck. So I could have only one copy of a Glitter Tiga. Then again, you might have the issue.
This is worse. This is
Tiga Zero is the best because you get 2 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Granted, and remember, Pokemon has item searcher cards, so you can you can have that one copy and you have a card that searches it. So I'm just kind of throwing out things. I don't think this is what we want to see. Scarred compatible.
Yeah, like so like Scarred is one thing that like came up. Is like, well, is Scarred just like insane now? You know, like is that just the best deck? Blades are everything. You Scarred into your level 4s and win games.
I think this will come back to like how the mechanic just fundamentally works. Is it just a regular permanent level up? Is it a temporary level up? Because then you can change the wording to call this not a level up, but this can be called a evolution. I don't know, here burst or miracle or something that it differentiates like from your traditional level up phase, and then it makes effects like Scarred backwards compatible. Because otherwise, yes, okay, then it's just Tiga Blazer or Zero Blazer, and you just race to see who can mill and reveal their quadruple rare to win the game.
I actually think it'd be super interesting if it was like a scene card type thing. Like it's a character you level up during the scene phase,
Mhm.
because like in the same sense that like when you see the opponent's scene,
Mhm.
it gives you like some idea of what is going to happen for the rest of the turn, or like, okay, now they have this extra stuff, I have to be worried about extra stuff. I think that's kind of like a cool way to go about level 4s too, where like
Mhm.
you know it's going to come into play. It's almost like your opponent's charging up their ultimate move and you know it's coming, but you got to work around it. So I don't know, just a little random thought, but I
No,
think that could be
I think
interesting.
that interaction is really important too. Like, I don't want it to be like I played the scene. All right, oh, you leveled up the 4. Okay, it's over. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a scene card. You know, if someone plays a scene card, it doesn't mean it's the end of the game. It just means,
Hmm.
okay, they got some maybe really strong activate or really strong effects. Okay,
Yeah.
I need to play defensively this turn. I need to think about
Yeah.
how I protect myself against that burst, like
It
Scar.
could be, hear me out. Um, a little bit of both. Oh,
Mm.
I lost it. Like, uh, it could be a little bit of both. And I'll go back to that thought, but like the thing you really don't want is level 4s being like super overpowered, and then like you're just playing this game of chicken of like the lead player is like, well, I'm just gonna play my level 4 because it's probably gonna win me the game, and then or like you just have to be like, well, I just hope my opponent doesn't have the level 4, and I'll just play my turn, and then the person who like goes next like gets to save their triple quadruple rare until the opponent plays it so they can defend against it. And if the opponent doesn't, the lead player doesn't play it, then you just get to play it and win. Like that's the situation we don't want to be in, right?
Mhm.
But that's what I'm saying. It could be a little bit of both, maybe. I don't know if this like actually makes sense gameplay wise, but we could have a situation where the level 4s can act either as a defense
Mhm.
or as offense. So
Yeah.
you can play them on a turn, like they'll go crazy, do some crazy effects, or you could not play it and have it like I mentioned in the judgment phase, it could come out and save you from losing that turn. So if you're not sure how the turn's going to play out, or you think you don't, don't want to commit it, or I don't know how it's going to work,
Yeah.
but you could have this option to play defensively or offensively. As I said that out loud, I was kind of like, I don't know if that'll work out because I think in this game, offensive and defensive go hand in hand. Like if you just play a good play, it is both offensive and defensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I can't believe they just announced BP4. Like we finally have all the cards. We don't even have them yet. We haven't tested anything, and they're like, and there's something new to get excited about, and hopefully not like get bored of BPO4 too quickly because you
Well,
just want to play with those triple quadruple rares.
luckily for us, there is still, can't get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
We still have world qualifiers
yeah, and there
in New
will be
York that should
some
be before this set.
hopefully. Yeah,
So there's there's enough. There's still a goal, I think, for
yeah,
BP4 that maybe BP3 didn't quite have for everyone. Very
hmm
few people are going to the US Open, so it's not a big deal. I think
yeah,
Japan Championship BP3 is probably better in Japan for like having a big event to build
yeah,
towards. That unfortunately, like, you don't really kind of have in the States. But so BP4, it's still safe. People are going to need to qualify,
yeah.
practice, play test for qualifiers. BP5 qualifiers, I think, are going to be wild because this. I mean, we talked about this
I don't even
in
know.
length. I don't know if we need to go back to like the deck building aspects, but there will be a big fundamental change to how the game is played.
Hmm.
It will be a new game. Like this is, I feel like, a junction where in some card games you introduce like classic mode or like
Mm,
other formats that like you go back to things before they got wild. And up till BP4 will be like Ultraman card game classic,
yeah,
and then you'll have a new format, Ultraman card game premium, which is like uh, everything else afterwards.
yeah.
So uh,
All right. I think at
world
this
is going to
point
be
we're just
crazy.
going to go in super ramble mode, and we're already maybe a
Yeah.
little bit there. So I think we'll cut it off. Really excited for this,
Mhm.
but like Gunkid said, we got to focus on BPO4. which we have a lot of plans for. We're going to be doing deck weeks. So the first one we'll do, I think the week after the set releases, not the week after, the week after will be Omega Week. So look forward for that. We'll be running up Omega against all the new competitors, seeing how that deck is. So we'll expect 3 to 4 deck matches and a deck profile. We're going to try to do weekly, not daily videos, but like week daily videos. So maybe 5 a week is the goal. Just see how it goes.
Mhm.
So look forward to that. Stay tuned, subscribe, like. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to us ramble about Ultraman card game.
A lot of rambling.
And yeah, BP05 is going to be insane. It's going to be insane.
Mhm.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, thank you.